Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and we're looking at another knife today. We're going to do a review on the CJRB Pyrite 1925A. This is the one that I received from CJRB and Artisan Cutlery, and thanks to them for that. Really enjoying this knife, and this is the second addition to the Pyrite lineup, and it has a new blade style. It has the Warncliffe style blade on it, or some people may refer to it as the reverse tanto, but this knife, it has a blade length of 3.11 inches. Open, it is 7.3 inches, and closed, it is 4.2 inches long. The steel on this, it is an AR RPM 9. It comes in at 3.7 ounces for weight, and the steel on this, it is the handle, sorry, it is the stainless steel, and it's skeletonized on the inside. And unfortunately, my lighting, I don't think you can see that, but it is there, which makes it a little bit lighter. The pocket clip on this, it is reversible and tip up and deep carry, and I really like the way that this sits in the pocket. It sits in there good. Has the button lock like the original Pyrite does, and you got some jimping on the back of the blade here, and you have a lanyard hole at the back for those that like the lanyard, and you have ceramic ball bearings in the pivot to allow for smooth opening. And this thing, it does have smooth opening. And so the opening, it is the thumb hole, and sorry with my setup here, not the best setup, but anyway, it does have the thumb hole, and so you can do that. You can do the reverse flick, which I find easier, or you can use the button lock and just flick it without using either. But for myself, I do find that the reverse flick is the easiest on there. And I've heard some people ask, why do all you knife guys do the reverse flick when you're doing? Number one, it's a fun way of opening your knife. Number two, some knives lend themselves to actually opening easier that way than trying to do it that way. And so it's just ease of opening on some of the knives like this one. And it's just a lot of fun to do. It feels good. So it is centered down the middle. I don't know if you can see that on my screen, but it is centered. And there is no blade play. Back and forth, up and down, it sits in there nice and solid. And I have to say, this is a great fidget knife for you guys who fidget with your knives when you watch TV or are bored and, you know, doing nothing. The knife is a great thing to fidget with. And I'm just going to bring out, this is the original Pyrite, and oops, sorry, you can see the difference on them. And so it has the thumb stud instead of the thumb hole. Otherwise they're pretty close, and then the different blade style. But I don't know what it is about this knife. It somehow, oh, I forgot to mention there's a choil there as well, but you want to be careful. It's more of a sharpening choil than it is a finger choil, but you can put a finger there. I was going to say, though, I'm not sure what the difference is, because the handles look identical, but for some reason I find this one feels so much better in the hand than this one. I really like this one. Great knife. Snaps open, no problem. The thumb studs, you know, they work great on there. But for some reason, I just find this knife fits my hand a whole lot better feels more comfortable. So I carry this one. Man, I've been carrying this one a lot. So really like this 1925A knife. So let's do a quick size comparison. If I can get it to open after all that yak about opening knives. So there's the Ontario Rat 2. Pretty close to the same size. The Pyrite has a little bit of length on that. And the Bug Out, pretty much the same size as the Bug Out. So anybody who has a Bug Out and you're wondering about the size, that's it. It's basically the same size as the Bug Out. And the Civivi Cogent, of course, is a bit bigger, and also the Sencut Saxi. You can see there's a bit of length there. So mid-size knife, and good size knife for the jobs that I do. I find it to be very adequate for that. Excuse me, sharpness, let's take a look at that. The RPM 9, look at that, just slices through. And I've used this knife quite a bit for various tasks, and it goes through that paper without any effort at all. And this paper is not very tough, but not all knives cut paper, and not that easily. And so the zip tie, no effort at all. It cut through that. The nylon cord, again, it just pull it back and it cuts through that. And my fake paracord, oh, jeepers, it falls through that. So nice sharp edge on that. I haven't tried sharpening RPM 9 yet, so I don't know just how difficult it may be to sharpen RPM 9. I don't think it's going to be horrible, but it should hold an edge for a long time, and I'm hoping that it will. And so far, as you can see, it is doing a good job. So the things I like about this knife, I like the aesthetics. I think it's a great look. I really like the blade profile on it. The handle, it's a generic handle, and I know it's not a crazy different blade style, but I do like the style of it. The ergonomics are what really does it for me. It feels so good in the hand. It just really feels like something, like a tool you can use. And for slicing in that, you've got good control. It feels really good. I really like how this works in the hand. In the pocket, it fits great. You barely notice it when it's in your pocket. It sits in there nice and slim. Doesn't take up a lot of room. There's nothing on the knife to be banging your hand on when it's closed and in the pocket. It's all in there nice and slim, all smooth edges. And so, yeah, it fits great in the pocket. The lock on it works great. No problems with the lock. You can see its pivot on there is really good. Drop close. When I first got it, the pivot seemed a little grainy, but it still operated smoothly. No problem at all. And put a little bit of pivot lubrication on that, and it works great. So yeah, just I guess probably a little bit of dust or something from transport or packing or whatever. One of my beefs though about these knives, and I said with the original Pyrite, is the stainless steel. It's very smooth, so that there's not a lot of grip. Sorry, my phone keeps going off here. There's not a lot of grip on there, but I think the way they've designed the handle, and I know with that jimping and that, you do get a good solid grip, but if you had wet hands, this might be a little bit on the slippery side because it is just smooth stainless steel. So yeah, I don't know if they could do texturing on that, if it would make it look goofy and that. They'd have to do a nice design if they were to texture that, just to give you a little more grip. But the ergonomics of it allow for quite a decent grip. And of course, my big beef, the pocket clip is not flush. They could have made that flush. They made the screws flush with the pocket clip, but they made the pocket clip rise, or it rises up. So of course it's going to be a little wear and tear on the pocket, but definitely not the end of the world. And as far as EDCs, well, I think you've got the idea from me that yes, this is definitely an everyday carry knife. Carried it a lot, enjoyed carrying it. It's worked well for me. Just a really good knife. It functions well for all that I need to do. You're opening boxes and that. It's got the blade like a box cutter, you know, so easily to open boxes, open envelopes and different things. And as you can see, cutting through the strings and that, it cuts them quite easily. So great little knife. I like it a lot. I will be carrying this more. This will definitely be in my roster for knives that I throw in my pocket a lot, and already is in the roster. So I would encourage you, if you have opportunity, to check out the 1925s and just see what they're like. And both great knives, but this one's definitely my favorite. So that is the CJRB Pyrite 1925A, and I'll put links to that in the description, and you can find those down there. And we'll do another review coming up. So thank you for joining me on this. Until we get together again, you stay safe and stay sharp.